got to talk about Jonathan David. We've been waiting to do this all week long, but it's just been such a busy week. We figured they have a big match coming up this weekend where Jonathan David can continue to try and score goals. Lille, at the moment, they are right in the race, 4 points back of Stade Brestois, who they are playing this weekend, who are currently second in the table. They trail PSG by 14 points. Something that might be attainable for Jonathan David is the Golden Boot. He's only 7 goals back from Kylian Mbappe. He has been scoring for fun very much in this battle for a Champions League spot. The question, as always, Ollie, and it seems like we've had this conversation a few times, but the more he continues to do this, the larger the body of work grows. We ask again, does Jonathan David get the respect he deserves outside of
Um, yeah, I think so. I don't see him as like a massively disrespected player. Like he's been linked to just about every big club in Europe over the past couple of years. There's been few players who have been involved in more rumors than Jonathan David's, and I think look, it's okay to recognize that some of that was premature, and he still needed some time in France to develop his game, and I think that's what's happened now. And now I think you're in a situation where you can look at Jonathan David and say he's doing great at Lille. You know, among the top scorers in Ligue 1, they're back in contention to get in the top European competitions as well, and that's been a great place for him. But maybe the next step is getting closer, and I think as much of that as anything is okay. It is that David has improved, and we talked about this a week or two ago. I think there's a lot of indicators to say he has taken a step, and the underlying numbers are much stronger than they have been before. But it's also just circumstances, right? His contract is starting to run down. And the price as a result, I would imagine, is going to be a bit more realistic for clubs who are interested in him than it maybe has been in the past, where they've been getting quoted, 50, 60 million euros, even more than that, which may just be a little bit of a stretch too far for a player coming out of Ligue 1 who has shown what David has shown. But like I said, transfers for me, as much as anything, are about the fit and the timing. And with 1 year left on his deal after this, and the way he is playing this season, the goals he's scoring, particularly in 2024, I think potentially that time could be coming where we look at Jonathan David at another club and maybe in a bigger league.
I feel like we're almost at the point where I understand the question and its validity here, but I almost wonder if Jonathan David gets more respect outside of Canada for his exploits in France than he does with the average Canadian sports fan, because he's certainly getting a lot of the headlines and he's becoming a loved commodity over at Lille, Jordan Wilson. And as the rumors have quieted down, they've never really gone away. But why do you think perhaps we're hearing less of the big transfer rumors as we've heard from Tejan Buchanan and Alfonso Davies in the past these days?
Well, the first thing you said, I want to address, obviously on a smaller scale, but it was the same with Atiba Hutchinson. Like he was famous, loved by everyone. Obviously, he's loved in Canada, but just bear with me. When you left, or if you were in Europe or places that he's played, he was adored. And then in Canada, he was loved. People liked him. He was a very good guy. I see that same thing with Jonathan David as well. Like obviously different scale. He's only 24. And Atiba played forever, has connected with everyone. But the point I'm trying to make is that he's just probably one of those players, that personality that just goes about his business. He's not loud or boisterous. He just goes and scores goals and does it in a way of beautiful fashion. Like his one touch finishing, his touch before he shoots in the box is sublime. Like he is a real box striker. His movement's incredible. The way that he presses, I think it almost favors him as well to kind of go under the radar. Sometimes you talk so much about these strikers and how many goals they're gonna score. I kind of like with Jonathan David that he's at League Earn, he's building, and we know he's gonna bang goals, even though there might be some stretches where he's not scoring. But we know his quality. But I think that favors him. I just think that move and that fit to Ollie's point is so important. And I couldn't pick a team. Even when last year there's a lot of rumors about where he would go, if it was Inter, if it was other clubs. You need a fit where he's gonna play and almost not be the big dog, but know that he's gonna get a substantial amount of minutes and can come in and score. And that's what he has at Lille. He has that confidence to know that he is going to be playing and he is going to be scoring. To answer your question about like why people are hearing about him now, I think it's just phases. I think in the market, like you're really on a player, and then sometimes you kind of just get bored and you go to someone else, and it's just like who's hot in the moment. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have the quality. This guy is 24. He just turned 24 years old, and like he's built, he's strong. And I know for me as a player, even people that have played, your peak is 28, 29, 30 sometimes. Like he's not even close to being so productive in front of goal, but he's such a huge talent. But that next move for him is going to be crucial.
Gareth Wheeler.
You're on mute again.
Muted again, Wheels. The mute bug.
It ruined my joke because it went, well, I was waiting patiently to get that in. A la Oliver Platt. Okay, a couple things here. One thing when it comes to transfer rumors, they are what they are. Like I've learned how to flush a lot of those a long time ago. There's certain people you can follow. They'll put out every item of speculation. It doesn't matter how popular he is unless you're him or his branding company or his agent within this country, because this is the way that soccer works. There are great players playing across this planet. It's a global game, and it's virtually impossible for people to watch every league across the world to keep up with every player. And with more Canadian players playing abroad, there might just not be as big of a focus on this one player, but there should be because he's excellent. It's Davies and David for Canada right now. Larin playing in La Liga. Like these are the headliners. Eustachio as well. It wasn't that long ago this season where on this very show, the issue was brought up. Is there concern about Jonathan David not scoring goals, didn't score for 9 or 10 games, wasn't playing regular football? And I said, there's no need to worry about this guy because strikers, including David in the past, have gone through these stretches where they might not play or they might not score goals for a little bit of a period of time, but he's really picked things up as of late. Perfect timing, by the way, for this upcoming Canada window. And now he looks very much the complete package. Will he move on? I don't know. He's worn the captain's armband a couple of times now for Lille. If they're going to pay him what he wants, he's comfortable there. He's adored. He's a club record setter. Then there might be a scenario where he can stay. It just doesn't seem like that is the model of Lille anymore. So he might outgrow his current surrounding, but I have no problem playing for that club in that level. I think where he goes next, a lot of that's going to have to do with financial fair play. I think that the $100 million player, you saw plenty of players even go to maybe not even the biggest clubs, but there and abouts. That $100 million player, I just don't think that many clubs can do it anymore because of the pressures of financial fair play. And maybe a $40, $50 million player, someone that can put the ball in the back of the net. They play a modern game. They can press. They're a good teammate. They're quick. All these attributes certainly fit Jonathan David. And I can see maybe a window this summer being more preferable, kind of maybe not shopping on the highest shelf here, but David certainly can provide those requisite qualities, whether from a starting role coming off the bench for even a bigger club than Lille. I have no doubt about that. But what that fit will be, that just remains to be seen.
What we do know as a certainty is we will be seeing Jonathan David plenty in just 8 days as Canada plays Trinidad and Tobago, the Copa America qualifier on One Soccer. Hope you'll join us then. Let's get to our Tony Bet top picks. Very unlike us here on One Soccer Today, we've actually saved a fair amount of time for the segment today, our football lines, and we're going to go back to Major League Soccer and get some odds for the 3 Canadian MLS groups. Let's start with Oliver Platt. Chicago Fire are favorited. You called them one of the most hopeless franchises in North America. I don't agree with you. Or just if Montreal
Montreal plus 250, please. I think all of these prices are pretty good on the Canadian team, so I'll certainly get started on that one.
Gareth Wheeler?
I'm a little bit more leery about that. What Chicago has done in their first games, they've conceded late goals against Portland, against Philadelphia. I do think goals are in this game. I'm taking the over.
That's minus 137 for those interested. Jordan Wilson.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be a low-scoring one. 1-0, 2-0. I don't think this is a game. I think Montreal is winning. I don't think this is a game Chicago Fire is winning, but I just don't see 3 goals in this game. So yeah, that would be my take.
Line's at 2.5. Jordan goes under. NYCFC minus 139. Jordan. TFC plus 350. Some value on the Torontonians.
1-0 for TFC. And I'm not going to say Insigne magic. I'm going to say someone else scores. And then it's really going to work. Whether it's Bernadeschi, whether it's Oso, someone else stepping up and getting that nice, clean win.
Wheels.
under. Da, na, 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 under. Under, of course. New York City FC, they've scored 1 goal on the season. 1. And TFC, that suits them. They played a team with a struggling in Charlotte last week, and I think this game is goalless 1-1. It's going to go under. Under. That's my bet.
minus 106. The line is 2.5 FC Dallas and the Whitecaps plus 204. Some value there. But that's all the time we have today, gentlemen. We hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Plenty of footy. We'll be back to recap it all on Monday. So long.